listening to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fein and Sean Miller, breaking down betting into 4 categories to help you stay ahead of the game, sharing their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet it, where to bet it, and who to bet on. Now here are your hosts, Daryl Fein and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet or HowToBet.com podcast. We appreciate you joining us. He is Sean Miller, and he is Neri Rodriguez. I'm Daryl Fein, and we broke down the West. We broke down the South. Now we're going to break down the East region. It'll be played in Philadelphia on Friday night. And, well, listen, history could be made. History could be made. History could be made on Friday night in Philadelphia. We'll see about that. And remember, you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like button, the notification bell, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We appreciate that. That's the way we keep on going here. So subscribe to us. And remember to go to howtobet.com. Various promos for sports books around the nation, including the 2 UC scrolling, very exclusive promotions from FanDuel and PointsBet. So get there early, get there often to howtobet.com. And Sean, let's get into the East here. History could be made. First game in Philly on Friday night. The St. Peter's Peacocks, a 15 seed, has never gone to the Elite Eight.
This is only the third time they've gotten to the Sweet 16.
Yes, it is. And
you remember what they are?
The other teams, Florida Gulf Coast,
Dunk City, man,
and Dunk City. He got a job at USC. Oral Roberts last year, and now Shaheen Holloway and his St. Peter's Peacocks out of the MAC. Shaheen Holloway won't be coaching at St. Peter's next year. I'd be shocked, beyond shocked, if he was. I think Seton Hall looks like it's in his future after Willard moves to Maryland, which I think Maryland should have just gone with Holloway. To be honest with you, Willard does not win tournament games. He did a good job at Seton Hall. Look, it's not the easiest place to win, but you can win there. It's been proven before. PJ Carlissimo won there. Willard has won there, but he just doesn't win tournament games. When he was the MAC at Iona, he never won a tournament game. I'm not even talking about not winning a tournament championship. He never won a tournament game. And then he moved on. His father's a legendary coach, so he does have some pedigree. But all in all, I don't get the move. But anyway, let's get to this game. St. Peter's.
The technicality of a legend that recommended you.
There you go. Genius.
My man Andy T.
He's the genius. St. Peter's, Purdue. Purdue, 12.5-point favorite. St. Peter's, the unbelievable upset over Kentucky. Then they beat Murray State. They were a 9-point dog in that one. Now they're a 12.5-point dog. The total is 136.5. I'll say this. We do knock the Big Ten. Purdue has been impressive. Now, I know Yale. They're expected to beat an Ivy League Yale team. They did. And then they took on a Texas team that's not bad. Texas not great, but they're not bad. And Purdue handled them quite easily in the end. So I've been a little bit impressed with Purdue. This is not a good matchup for an undersized St. Peter's team. But 12.5, it's teams on a roll. They got something going on. They got some mojo going on. Is there any chance that they not only cover, but they win the game?
I mean, there's a chance they're in the game. Obviously.
This of course, Sean, is the largest spread on the board of any game going forward, 12.5.
St. Peter's is 22-9 against the spread, and Purdue's not very good against the spread, 15-20, which, says to me, maybe I'll take St. Peter's in the points here. I can't imagine they're going to win the game. This Purdue team's pretty good.
I mean, the mismatch, at 7'4", he's a mismatch against anybody, although he's not a great offensive talent, but he's a mismatch. KC Nadefo for St. Peter's is 6'7" at most. He plays an undersized position. You have the Drame brothers that are a little taller, but they're not that kind of player. This is a mismatch here. They're going to have to do it from the outside.
Jaden Ivey's really
good player. St. Peter's will come defensively. That's what they do. They've always had trouble scoring until the tournament. But this is what they do. They play defense. So they'll figure something out, but I don't know that they can defend at 7'4" with their roster.
I'm trying to you're trying to make a case for St. Peter's. I just don't. I don't think there's any chance they win the game. Purdue. I mean, not for nothing. Purdue's defense has been better than St. Peter's all year,
which is
teams.
Purdue. I mean, they at times they do struggle defensively. At times, yeah, they lose some interest.
They shoot 50% on the season. Yeah. I just
they have 5 guys that can score. They have 5
the more I look at these numbers, the more I think maybe Purdue wins this pretty easily. The thing is with these 15 teams, some of these seeds that get to this point, I don't think they're going to be happy to be there. But at some point, you're going to run into a team that is a bad matchup or a bad, it just happens in the tournament.
Kentucky on paper was a bad matchup,
but what? So
I can't bet
North Carolina or any of these teams. You're gonna get it. In the runs. Just watching North Carolina win titles. You get these games where you're like, man, this is a bad matchup, and they find a way to win because they're just more talented. But St. Peter's isn't as talented as these teams. At some point.
I can't make a case. I'm rooting for them.
The more I think about it, the more I probably take Purdue minus 12.5.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them, but I can't make a case. It's impossible to make a case.
I don't love the number, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a lot of points. I would probably bet it down to I would probably take it at -9 or minus, something like that and put it in a parlay with somebody. But, I just think it's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is a lot of points, but it is a hard case to make for St. Peter's. So their midnight might strike, but it'll be, again, I'll be rooting for them. They'll probably have more than the 50 fans they had in the first 2 rounds out at their game because it's in Philadelphia. It's a school that they had somebody to chip in and get the cheerleaders there. The cheerleaders weren't even there at first, or the dance team or something, and they got a bus and got out to Indianapolis. Peacock and one of the other TV channels or something that funded them. Anyway, let's move on to the next game, which could be the most intriguing game of the Sweet 16. Certainly, most intriguing game on Friday night. Again, these games in Philadelphia on Friday night. UNC. Your boys, your Tar Heels against UCLA. UCLA is now 2.5-point favorite. The total is 141.5. This is a good ball game. This should be a great game. I was not impressed with UCLA against Akron. They did a much better job against St. Mary's. Much better job. Remember, this is a team that went far last year into the Final Four. UNC crushed Marquette, 95-63. They were up by 25 on Baylor, and then win that one. This is a good game. This is a really good game. I know who you like. Everybody knows who you like. Neri, who do you like?
You know what? Honestly, UNC has been kind of easy money in this tournament. I mean, you gotta love them as an 8 seed. I'm still picking them versus UCLA.
Yeah, I did well with UNC. I had them both games in this tournament so far. So all right, so. I personally think UCLA wins this game. However, it could be just a buzzer beater type game, 2.5. I'll go with UCLA. Now you tell me why I am wrong.
I should tell you why you're wrong
about liking UCLA in this game.
Look, North Carolina annihilated Marquette. They're on the way to annihilating Baylor, the top seed, the defending national champions, before the referees stepped in. Here's the other thing, too. That game, they blow a 25-point lead. They're getting screwed left and right by the refs. It goes to overtime, and what do they do in overtime? They blow out. They blew them out in overtime.
And at that point, they're very shorthanded.
They were shorthanded, and, they come back against all. When that game goes to overtime, I turned it off. I'm like, they lost. The game's over. They didn't do a thing. They ended up winning by 7. Baylor couldn't make a shot in overtime. Right? They were 3 for 11. It was crazy. Baylor had so many. They're pushing them, fouling them every inbounds pass. I know. So,
I agree. Hey, I'm not a UNC guy, and I'm telling you, like we said,
they got absolutely
the referees were
cheated.
Awful. It was one-sided. It was awful, that game. I'm not sure what was going on, but it was bad. It was
I
bad.
think, there's somebody from the NCAA said, hey, let's get them back in the game, man. We can't be – this is the only game on TV right now. We got to get it close. So, but look, Manic was on the way to 40 points. Caleb Love didn't play a lot, so he's rested. Baycott is a beast. This team is good, and I know UCLA is. This is the game I picked, UCLA UNC, and once again, UNC was a preseason top 10 team. Now they're finally playing like it. Their defense was shutting down Baylor until until the ref stepped in. I mean, Baylor couldn't do anything until Manic left the game. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they went on quite a run after he left. Sure.
UCLA, has sometimes has a problem scoring. UNC's not going to have a problem scoring points. I mean, that's just something they do.
So let's take a look at that 141.5.
I think it goes over, and
I do too.
I think
it goes over.
Total over. Here's the thing, too. If this goes over, it's just kind of the same as Arizona. If this goes over, North Carolina wins the game. If North Carolina's points go over, North Carolina's winning the game. The way North Carolina's not going to win this game is if they struggle to shoot. But once again, with Manic playing the way he's playing now and Baycott, I just don't think you're guaranteed like 40 points, 50 points there. So I just think that they're going to have. I think UCLA's going to have problems matching up with them. Everybody's talking about how UCLA causes everyone else problems, but no one hasn't been talking about the North Carolina problems that they cause and the points. When you look back at the last month, I mean, look at the amount of points North Carolina's put up against some very good teams like Duke, Baylor. They put 93 points up against Baylor with two of their guys out on the bench.
Listen, this should be a great game. I'm really looking forward to this one. Let's take a look at odds to win the East. Do we have the odds to win the East region? Neri, do we have those odds?
Yeah, they're coming up right there.
Okay. I don't think we have those odds.
Yeah, no, because I'm in New Jersey, so
you couldn't get those odds up.
I got them here.
All right. So all right. So we'll just talk about the odds to win this one. What Neri meant by that, by the way, is because St. Peter's is involved, and they're a New Jersey school. When he goes to do the graphics, they're out of all the betting lines because they're in New Jersey and the casinos in New Jersey won't allow it. So interesting. Vegas used to be that way. They're not anymore. But
UCLA's plus 220. Purdue's minus 135. UCLA plus 220. North Carolina plus 370 now, down from plus 2,500 when I bet them.
Wait, what did you say Purdue was?
Minus 135.
Purdue favored to come out. That's interesting.
Odds to make the Final Four. Yeah, Purdue.
That is interesting. Okay. All right. So
135, Sean?
Here's the thing. Yeah, minus 135. I mean, you see this sometimes in like the Champions League. They're just expecting Purdue to walk through. So basically, they already have them in the final, where UCLA and UNC is a tough game. So like you can't have those odds.
Yeah, but I would say
I'd rather take.
I would say UNC, North Carolina or UCLA against Purdue. I like either one of those teams against this Purdue team, even though I've been a little bit more impressed than I thought I would be.
They're basically just these odds are just because they expect Purdue to be in the final. Like they don't know which of North Carolina or UCLA.
It's still minus 135, I think, is not a good value there at all. Hey, remember, like us, hit that notification bell on YouTube and subscribe. Please subscribe. We appreciate that. Go to howtobet.com. You'll see various sportsbook promotions from sportsbooks around the country, including the two that we're scrolling on the bottom, FanDuel and PointsBet. So get there early, get there often to howtobet.com. When we come back, we will finish this up with the Midwest region. That should also be a good one. There's potential for great Final Four. We'll be back after this. Go to howtobet.com.